Pickle, hit the air raid siren. It's time for Monday Morning Fallout.
I was ready that time.
Monday Morning Fallout, of course, where we overreact to the football weekend and a lot to overreact to. Let's start with my three big thoughts. Thought number one, provisional status confirmed. There were a couple of teams, and I'll just say this. I think that when people take a look at the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas high school football rankings, I think people have to realize that teams are in the rankings for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Yes, obviously, if you're in the rankings, we think you're pretty good. Okay?
Fact.
That's it's mostly based on quality. But there will be teams that we will give kind of a trial run in the rankings that will just be like, you know what? I think you're pretty good. But we know you've got another game coming up that we want to see how you react. And so we're going to put you in the rankings, and then you go and show us.
Because it makes sense to put you at 10 and then bump you up, then to do two good games and go, well, let's throw them at 3.
We should have had them. Yeah, exactly. And there's certainly an element of, like, we don't want to be perceived as, like, overreacting.
Right.
And things like that. And so if we have a feeling a team might be good,
let's nudge you up a little bit.
them up into the rankings, give them a shot, and then if they win,
there they go.
Such was the case, I would say, with one of the biggest winners of the weekend, which was the game that you were at, which is Huntsville.
Yeah.
Huntsville goes and clobbers A&M Consolidated. We had them number 10. They entered the rankings last week at number 10. And we did that kind of specifically because it's like, all right, we think you're pretty good. Mm-hmm. We think you've got a shot. But you got to go beat the number 3 team to stay in the rankings, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that the carrot is obviously there. Well, they showed up big. And they were very impressive in their win.
Without their head coach and without their leading receiver.
Right. They were awfully impressive in their win over A&M Consolidated. I would say that is an example of a team that we kind of put into the rankings from a provisional status, and then they go and prove us, make us look smart for putting them in the rankings. Right? It's a no-lose situation for us in a lot of ways. I would say also that, like, you had a situation similar in 4A Division I with Midlothian Heritage. Mm-hmm. Midlothian Heritage goes and beats Waco La Vega. They were unranked. We were like, all right, you know what? We're going to put you back in the rankings, knowing full well that you got to go and take on Stephenville. Go to the big country and beat Stephenville. Sure enough, they were able to go do that. A situation like that. That is, to me, a decent use of the rankings. I'll give you another example. On the opposite side, okay? Columbus. A couple of weeks ago in 3A Division I, we nudged Columbus into the rankings. Part of it was that they had looked obviously very good. We thought they were very impressive. But we also knew that coming up, they were going to have a tough test against Hallettsville. We thought, okay, we're going to find out a lot about Columbus. They end up losing to Hallettsville 45-14. And so we're like, all right, give you a shot. We're going to nudge you back out of the rankings now. So in a lot of ways, you've got to think of these rankings as teams that are on our radar, right? We don't necessarily think like maybe we put a team at number 9. We may not necessarily think they're the 9th best team in the state, but we also think that they've got the resume to deserve to spot there, and know that they will have a challenge coming up. That's kind of one thing that I have on my mind this weekend, specifically with what Huntsville was able to do. Thought number 2, quarterbacks matter, and let's talk about the college football ranks, where you can very obviously see. I don't want to say the haves and the have-nots, but, like, if you have a quarterback that you feel pretty good about, you had a pretty good weekend. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's take, for example, Texas. Texas goes on the road and beats Oklahoma State thanks to a big game from a lot of different guys, but obviously they have a quarterback they trust. Mm-hmm. In Sam Ellinger, they go on the road, they knock off the number 6 Pokes, hand them their first loss of the year, right? SMU with Shane Buechele, even without Reggie Roberson and a number of their weapons, they go and they beat Navy, a team that's kind of been a thorn in their side historically. Mm-hmm. They hang 51 on them. Quarterbacks have an impact. I thought A&M, Kellen Mond, goes out there, has a really nice game against Arkansas, and kind of keeps them, holds Arkansas at arm's length. That every time they needed to score, he came up big. And I hate to say it, but let's also count Rice among them. Rice brings in Mike Collins. They were a big question mark last year as far as quarterbacks are concerned. They bring in Mike Collins. Mike Collins is a really nice game. They beat Southern Miss on the road. Yeah. Handily.
Big game.
On the other hand,
you have Baylor.
You got teams like Baylor where I mean, I don't know what's broken with Charlie Brewer, but something's broken with Charlie Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
They fall into a huge hole. They end up trying to make it interesting at the end. It ends up not coming true. They lose to TCU. TCU.
In just a terrible game.
It just not very fun to watch. Texas Tech, I think, is in a similar situation where they are trying to figure out what they've got. They move to Henry Colombi. Henry Colombi goes in, and obviously they're taking on Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a pretty good team, but just offense wasn't there. UTSA is still trying to figure out what their quarterback situation is. Like Brady McBride for Texas State has been kind of up and down. Quarterbacks matter, and I think you're seeing that kind of come into focus with the college ranks. And thought number 3, margin mayhem. Let's talk about a couple of teams. We don't like to go gaga over, like if a team beats another team by 60, we don't necessarily always want to go crazy. I'll give you a perfect example, okay? Let's look at what Brock did to Peaster this past week. Brock beat Peaster 58-0, okay?
It was 48-0 in the first, like with 8 minutes left in the first half.
Good win for Brock. Good win for Brock. Not necessarily all that surprising, okay? But let's take a look at a couple of teams that the margins just have to, like, I think, wow you and make your eyes open a little bit. Let's start in 6A with Bridgeland. What Bridgeland did to Cy Park, 62-20. Just absolutely hammering them. Absolutely hammering a 4-1 Cy Park team. Now, I thought that I picked Bridgeland. I thought Bridgeland was going to win that game.
Right.
Not by 42.
Bears.
Let's go to 2A Division 1. Probably the biggest result of the weekend, the most stunning result of the weekend was Timpson. Timpson's 63-0 win over Joaquin.
That was insane.
63-0. Like that. And I mentioned this on my my instant reaction video, and I think I mentioned it on Scoreboard too. Tell me who's going to beat them in Region 3. Because I'll tell you who I think is the second best team in Region 3, the team they just beat by 63.
Yep.
Now, we'll talk with another coach coming up in a moment who may have an argument to that in Norman G. But right now, what Timpson did last week to Joaquin is eye-popping. And then we would be remiss if we didn't. If maybe you missed it on Saturday because it was a Saturday game. But Martin Bremond finally played, and we thought that was going to be the first big test for Mart in district as far as the 2A Division 2 team is concerned.
You still figured that they'll probably win, but
and Mart won 78-6.
Yeah.
Mart was up 50-0 at halftime. So we don't want to go crazy over margins. We don't want to go crazy. But there are some times that when you put them into context, you really have to just, like, eyes wide open with what that looked like. Those are my 3 big thoughts. 3 helmet stickers. A helmet sticker for Magnolia West tight end Marcus Collins. Who says the tight end is dead? He caught 5 passes for 233 yards and 4 touchdowns for Magnolia West in their big win. Rice running back Juma Ottaviano. We just got done talking a lot about quarterbacks, but let's give some love to the running game as well. Mike Collins was sharp, but Juma Ottaviano goes for 111 yards, kind of pacing that offense there for Rice as they go on and take down Southern Miss 30-6 and looked very good doing it. Juma Ottaviano gets a helmet sticker. And a helmet sticker to Bernie quarterback Rashawn Galloway. They had a huge game this week against Lavernia, and they came up aces. 28-40, 333 yards and 3 touchdown passing, and he added a touchdown on the ground for Bernie quarterback Rashawn Galloway. A helmet sticker for him. 3 teams to watch. We're done with 3 teams to worry about because we're deep enough in the season that
if we're still worried about you,
just sorry about you. Mansfield Timberview. You be quiet. Mansfield Timberview goes and gets a really nice win over Joshua, 61-14. And the reason that they're a team to watch is this week it's Aledo in their zone in 5A Division 2. Aledo has won 1 million district games in a row. Timberview is a team that I think can definitely challenge them. So, team to keep an eye on is Mansfield Timberview. Let's talk about the A&M Aggies. In a game that traditionally gets weird, they didn't let it get weird. And that, by the way, that score is not as close as it indicates. I mean, this game was 42-17 going to the fourth quarter. They gave up a couple touchdowns late, but this game never felt like it was in doubt. And, look, am I in love with everything that A&M did? No. But at the same time, you keep doing what they're doing, and especially getting big-time receiving help from guys like Aeneas Smith and Jalen Weidermeyer. They're going to be just fine.
You do a weird game, too, on a Halloween night, and that adds a little bit to it. Full moon.
Most certainly. So, A&M. And Kennedale, in a very weird non-district matchup in Week 10. They take on Wimberley and end up winning a low-scoring slugfest, 17-14. In a great win for Kennedale, who, by the way, very, very suddenly is a team to keep an eye on. They've just kind of been bobbing along there. But Kennedale is a team that I've certainly got my eye on, and I think you should have your eye on too. 3 teams to watch. We're now moving into 3 to C. The 3 games I'm most excited about this coming weekend. 1, go out east to Longview. Highland Park visits Longview in a game that we've had our eye on basically since realignment came out. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, 2 teams, like a great measuring stick for both teams. Both teams have a kind of mixed results right now. And so I'm interested to see who's able to come through in this big critical district matchup. Highland Park going on the road to Lobo Stadium. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. West Virginia, Texas. The question is, can Texas perform as a favorite? Like, they have every reason to feel good about themselves, but now they need to come home and take care of a team that I think they're better than, but is certainly good enough to beat them in West Virginia. West Virginia and Texas, I've got my eye on this weekend. And finally, Wheeler and Wellington, 2A Division II. If you want to start talking about who, 2A Division II, is that right? Yeah, I think so. Wellington has kind of been bobbing along, underrated, 8-0 right now, going up against Wheeler, who's 8-1, number 5 versus number 3. Number 5 Wheeler at number 3 Wellington. That game will be a lot of fun. Wheeler and Wellington rounds out 3 to C and rounds out Monday morning ball.